The Wilderness Committee is a 30-year-old organization that was based largely around the protection of wilderness, these sort of intact areas that were far away from the city. And what I do at the Wilderness Committee is kind of a departure from that, but we're trying to learn from the history of what sort of worked in the past in terms of protecting wilderness. What I do is actually more about cities. It's about urban environments, it's about toxins, climate change, stuff that people generally don't think of as the environment. So what I'm trying to do is to sort of make people think about how the environment is everywhere. We're all part of ecology, we're all part of interconnected systems that we all depend on for life. To sort of break down that wall that's at the edge of the city, between the city and the wilderness, and to really realize that the wilderness is everywhere. Over the years, we've basically taken people to the wilderness to say, come and see this for yourself, you can do something to protect it. So we're trying to sort of learn the lessons from that and apply them to things that can be much more esoteric, like climate change. Climate change is this huge big threat. It seems very far away in the future. It's happening in the atmosphere. It's not happening right here in your city in most people's minds. We're trying to turn that around and get you to think about climate change in the same sort of way by focusing on things like tankers, coal mines, highways, the things that actually cause climate change right here at home and that you can tangibly do something about. So that's really how my work meshes with the history of the Wilderness Committee, I guess. Well, I'm in an interesting position right now because here we are in Vancouver and my office is right next to the Burrard Inlet, and every day, or at least a couple of times a week, I see oil tankers, big, giant crude oil tankers going by my office. And it's my job to try to do something about it. It seems like a really ominous thing. These tankers are a lot bigger than I am and a lot bigger than any of my friends and me together are. But it's an opportunity to really do something important when it comes to reducing the impact of Canada and climate change, and also in terms of protecting our coast from an oil spill like the BP disaster or the Exxon Valdez. I guess day in and day out, I just work with people at the grassroots level to try to organize to stop tankers and fight climate change. We're at a really unique position in Vancouver. We're right in between the tar sands and the big expanding markets in Asia and in the United States. And we're a major choke point right in the middle. All that oil basically right now is coming right through the Vancouver harbor. And if you want to do something about climate change and you want to do something about protecting our coast from an oil spill, Vancouver's strategically very important. It's at a place where we can really punch above our weight, so as to speak, and actually have a huge impact on the reduction of the amount of oil that's out there, and really do something about our dependence on fossil fuels overall. Yeah, the number one threat to our coast right now is the fact that there's 2 crude oil tankers a week going through the Burrard Inlet, and that's only been happening since 2007. There is a lot of folks out there who are quite concerned. 80% of British Columbians would like to see a ban on oil tankers off the coast, but it's also a very difficult issue to work on. It's a regional issue and a federal issue primarily, there are a lot of folks on the ground who are doing a lot of really good work, and there's folks at the municipal and the regional level, there's even some folks at the provincial and the federal level, but this kind of change takes a lot. You're talking about billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars, at stake, and it's the future of our coast, it's the future of our economy in Canada, and we got our work cut out for us. But yeah, there's a lot of people working really hard on it, that's for sure. Well, change happens one person at a time, and the number one thing people can do in Vancouver is they can talk to their friends and neighbors, they can get them engaged. What we're trying to do at the Wilderness Committee is actually bring people on tours up and down the Burrard Inlet, so we can see really for ourselves what's at stake. So I guess if you're a Vancouverite and you're interested in knowing more about this issue, the number one thing you can do is kind of get involved in that process. Come and see for yourself what's at stake. Come and learn more about the issue, educate yourself, and then pass it on to your friends and neighbors. I can tell as many people as I can about this issue, but it means a lot more to your friends and your family if you tell them about it than if I do. So I'm really just trying to facilitate that process, and if Vancouverites want to get involved, we need everybody to come on down, see the issue for themselves, and then spread the word. I think the Projecting Change Film Festival is a fantastic opportunity for people to really become more aware about what's going on in the world and to get more engaged in it. Also to meet people in their community. I can say personally that I have learned so much from documentaries and from films that basically opened my eyes to the way that the world is. We learn through stories and we learn through community, And there's nothing better as a tool to really reach people than film. It's one of the things that the Wilderness Committee's been doing since day one has been, photographing and documenting the places that we want to protect. So you can experience it, so you can know the story of it, so you can know the people that are involved in that struggle. You can't always go out to these places. You can't go to every place that's in danger. But one day at a festival like the Projecting Change Film Festival, you can actually see for yourself so much of what's going on around the world and actually meet so many of the people involved in these struggles. So through that power of story and through that power of community, that's really how change happens. And I think that this is just a great opportunity for people to get engaged.